You can see the new, beautiful Roughriders Indigenous themed logo. And we have the man behind it, Chris Chipak, who designed that logo. Actually, it was a pretty fast turnaround. We'll get to that in a minute. But, Chris, I'm curious because this is our segment that is Saskatchewan Community Focus, which is brought to you by Saskatchewan Seniors Mechanism, working towards quality of life for all older adults. Learn about home supports and SSM programs at skseniorsmechanism.ca. Where did you come from?
Yeah, I was born in Meadow Lake, and then from Meadow Lake I moved to a reserve called Red Pheasant Cree Nation. And I grew up there from age 3 all the way to 17, and the only reason why I moved was just to pursue a further education at the University of Saskatchewan. Living on a reservation was a huge blessing and a great opportunity to put me in peace with myself and help me grow as a person.
And what about you in getting the opportunity to mold that upbringing now with the logo that the Saskatchewan Roughriders are going to wear on their helmet today? How special was that for you?
Very special. And the design aspect of it was I really wanted to latch onto the land. Growing up on reserve, like to have your backyard be open fields, valleys, and forests and beautiful colors in the sky, I definitely took it for granted when I moved to the city. And I really wanted to pay homage to the land with this logo and really hit that home. So,
can you go over some of the details in the logo?
Yeah, for sure. With the details, I really didn't have much space. They wanted to keep the S and the shield there, so I really had to build around it. And with the design of the buffalo has been on the prairie land before even Canada was created. So I really wanted that to be the basis of really impacting our logo with the buffalo. And then on the other side, the treaty promise, like we're all treaty people. We all live this land, we all have to share this land, and we have to work together to keep it in pretty good shape. So with the sun shining and the grass growing and the river flowing, it's that promise that we need to work together to keep this land, our community, strong.
Chris Chipak with us live on 620 CKRM and also on our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. If you tune in there, you can see this beautiful logo. We're fortunate to have one of the Roughriders helmets up with us on stage as Chris goes through the detail of this logo. It looks stunning, man. It's honestly beautiful, and I think it's so cool that the Riders have taken this initiative and are going to actually wear it in a game. How quickly, though, was the turnaround for you? And did you feel a lot of pressure putting it together?
No, it was kind of like an audition. They reached out to me and they were kind of like, we have a few ideas of what we want, but let's just see what you can do with a blank canvas. And I took that challenge on. I kind of said to them, give me a day or two. And I just did some processing, thinking of what it would look like, and then just started designing it and sent them a sketch of just a black and white sketch. And within a day or two, they're like, we shared it with who we need to share with. We love it. Now start coloring it. So it was a quick turnaround, and it was within a week we had it all like shaking hands, like celebrating and getting pumped up to show it to people.
So when you got approached with the idea, were you excited? And were you a Rider fan before, growing up?
I've always been a part of sports as best as I can. I try to dabble in everything. But as a teacher, once you start getting into teaching, it's kind of like you watch highlights. Like the sit down time of like processing games and checking out stats go away, and it's kind of just highlights. Mm-hmm. But like as a kid, I remember the 13th Man. Like I remember that, and like the whole living room quiet and turning the TV down and just sitting there reflecting.
Don't remind me.
Yeah.
I was on the field that day.
Yeah. So okay, you're feeling way more pain than I am right now. But like. Emotionally, I've been attached to it, and and just in terms of all of that, like sports is a big thing. So when I got this opportunity, I really wanted to make it special because like it covers the whole province, and I know Rider Nation is deep, so I definitely wanted to do us justice and make us stand out with all the designs.
Well, you did your thing, man. Your students, how do they feel about it? Have you talked to them much?
Yeah, I didn't show them at all, and I just I stayed doing my interviews in the evenings or first thing in the morning. I showed them yesterday, Friday morning, and it was dead quiet, and they're like, "Wait, is that you? Is that you in that photo? When did you do?" hey, like they just got it. So I was like, hey guys, if you guys can check out TV tomorrow.
Yeah. So you're a superhero now with
yeah,
the class,
man.
I hope so.
That's
Chris, just so we can hear you better, can you put your mic a little tighter? But we want to make sure everybody out there can hear you live on 620 CKRM and our Sports Cage YouTube channel as well. What was that process like for the logo becoming real? Understanding and getting the news that the Riders are going to use this, not just in marketing and everything else, but actually wear it on the field.
Yeah, I didn't see anything at all. I didn't see mock-ups. I didn't like the first mock-up I saw was when they showed the shirts and sweater going online, and I was like, wow. And then yesterday, coming in from Saskatoon, getting here, going into the locker room and seeing the helmets, seeing the sweaters, seeing the shirts, I saw the huge billboard cutout thing, and it looks so nice. Like, I don't know if they enhanced the color of the greens or something, but man, it pops, and it is so bright, and you can see the dimension of the buffalo. It stands out from afar, up close. Like, it turned out really good.
I bet you Jackie Hurlbert had something to do with that. She's ace on the marketing team for the Rough Riders. Chris Chipak with us. Chipak, I should say. I'm trying to get that right. Live on 620 CKRM and inside Harvard Studio 620 Lounge. He was the one that designed the Rough Riders' new Indigenous themed logo. The Rough Riders will be wearing it on their helmet today. If you're on our YouTube stream, you can see it live in person. You know, what's it like for you to be here more tied to the team than just being a part of Rider Nation with the design of the logo?
Yeah, when the week started, I kind of thought, come Wednesday, everyone was going to be like, cool, it's a logo. But throughout this week, Thursdays, Fridays, I'm getting such heartfelt messages from people in terms of how much it's just making them reflect about reconciliation and about just coming together, working together as a community. And so it's almost becoming like a wine, the longer the better, the more reflecting. And so it's been really nice, actually. And I'm usually not one to toot my horn, but I think Rider Nation is just really, really processing, and it's creating that healing of reconciliation.
Yeah.
How important is it to you, with your background of growing up on a reserve, that the Rough Riders are understanding what truth and reconciliation means in celebrating and including the Indigenous people? Oh
yeah, I think the CFL as a whole, and every organization being able to have their own Indigenous logo, no bias, it's a beautiful logo, but everyone should take a look at all the CFL logos and really there's Emily, Danae, there's a lot of artists who are great storytellers, and I'm happy that I got to tell a Saskatchewan story as best as I could in my design. But yeah, I think to really reach out and see the art community of Indigenous artists, there's a lot of good storytelling out there, and I think it's a great community to be a part of.
So who's your favorite rider right now? Do you have, somebody that motivated you for this logo, a player?
I didn't even think of that until it went up, and everyone was like, "Oh, you drew Armstead?" I was like, "Yeah, the buffalo." I was like, "Yeah, I did. Yeah. They get it. Yeah."
That's fresh, man. If you drew Armstead,
yeah, right?
He just got here.
Yeah, that's what everyone was commenting. I was like, "You guys."
Yeah. So what's the 2-4?
I came up with this idea. The riders were like, "Yeah, we got this merchandise swag bag for you," and I was like, "Can I add to that one thing?" And they were like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Just along with my storytelling ways, I would love to have the story of what this meant to me." So on the back it says my art name, In Chipak We Trust, and then 24 for the year 2024. So this locks it in as that experience of me being here today and getting to design this as well.
That's so awesome, man. What a memory for you to have, and I'm sure everybody in Rider Nation is loving the logo, man. I think it's amazing. Is there anything else you want to make sure that you get in before we let you go?
We can keep the logo for the rest of the year.
Man, yeah. It might be lucky, and if it is, rock it to the end, till our last breath.